From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
There's a lot of broken hearts in Yellowstone County. John was loved by so many people.
Commissioner remembered how friends, family, and the state of Montana are remembering John Osland after a deadly plane crash.
It's changed forever back there. You got to be careful.
Search stalled again. What teams are facing as they keep trying to find a missing hiker lost to powerful mountain currents.
I just work until I drop and then I just keep going again.
And broken glass, moisture, and mold. The ongoing effort to pick up the pieces in Shepherd, and what challenges come with putting a price tag on destruction. Those stories and much more coming up in the next hour. Good morning and welcome back to Montana This Morning on this Friday, June 20th. Miller, happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, Haley, and
Great
happy Friday, everybody. Yes, and getting ready for summer. Are you
Yes.
ready? I know you're ready for
so
summer.
ready.
Yeah, I know you were a little bummed. We didn't hit 90 yesterday.
Yes.
My apologies. Some areas didn't hit 90. We came close. Let's take a look. We had a lot of sunshine yesterday. Got us up to about 88, so still about 10 degrees above the norm. Our low of 56. Pretty seasonal, just a few degrees above average. Top gusts yesterday near 30 miles an hour at the airport. We still have breezy to windy conditions across the weekend. We could have gusts over 30 miles an hour. If you have any of those storms that come through, those gusts could definitely crest 60 miles an hour. We'll tell you more about the possibility of some severe weather coming up. Yesterday, pretty dry day, maybe a few drops around the area here in Billings, but of course, still in the hole for the month. Now, we can make some ground up by the time we get to Sunday night. Saturday night into Sunday, better opportunity where we may see some heavier rainfall coming into play. Still pacing ahead for the year. And we do have some rain across portions of the area, even a thunderstorm up there around Jordan. And that's kind of what we're eyeballing as we get into this afternoon, into this evening, especially eastern Montana, where we can see a better chance of some wicked weather. 50s and 60s as we wake up this morning here in Billings, feeling pretty good with that sunshine. 62. Humidity at 50%, dew point temperatures at 43 degrees, winds out of the northeast at about 14 miles an hour. Take a look at the day planner. We'll have a mix of sun and clouds as we go along today. By lunchtime into the 70s, low to mid 80s by the time we hit the drive at 5, and then later this evening, that's when we have a chance maybe of seeing some of those stronger storms coming into play, especially over to our east. Look at that, could get kind of nasty, and we'll tell you what we may be expecting coming up here in just a bit.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Miller. And our top story this morning as we continue to follow a plane crash that killed one man yesterday. Longtime Yellowstone County Commissioner John Osland has died after his single-engine plane crashed just outside of Billings. Osland was the only occupant, and he was piloting his Cessna 172K Skyhawk when it went down around 2 Thursday afternoon. That crash happening on private property in the 6100 block of Blue Creek Road. That location is not far away from a private turf runway, which is owned by Osland. The plane did catch fire after hitting power lines, but those flames were quickly extinguished. As of now, it is not known what caused the crash. Osland was a well-known figure in Montana politics and was one of the longest-serving county commissioners in Yellowstone County. His death being felt by many across Billings and Montana this morning, especially by those who worked beside him for many years. Our David J. has more on how Osland is being remembered.
John Osland was 73 when he died in the crash and is survived by his wife and 5 grown children and their families.
I feel bad for Christy and the whole family. It's a tragedy, and the whole community will our condolences go out to her.
Bill Kennedy, a former commissioner and current Billings City Councilman, served with Osland as a commissioner, and one of their constituents said that she would see them enjoying coffee together when Kennedy had a shop on Grand Avenue.
His heart was always in the right way to get things done for the people in Yellowstone County. We used to travel to the senior centers and have lunch.
John Osland started as a county commissioner in 2002 when he was toward the end of his 4th term. Throughout those 2+ decades, he built a good rapport and earned respect from other commissioners.
You knew right away that you had a solid person that you were talking to. And if he agreed with you, that was great. If he didn't, he would still treat you cordially.
Jim Reno served with Osland on the commission for 13 years. Osland was deeply committed to public service and rural issues and previously served as the president of the Montana Association of Counties.
What I appreciate about John is he's well prepared.
John was about accomplishing things, and that's what I really respected and appreciated about him.
Retired Big Sky Economic Development Director Steve Arviskow worked with Osland for 16 and a half years.
Our hearts and prayers are with his family. We love them. We loved John, and we're praying for them.
And Commissioner Mark Morse says, John was a great guy. He was my mentor. He taught me a lot. Good friend, good man. The first time I covered a story with John, he had won a county commissioner's race, and he was celebrating at Gussex. It was always pleasant to talk with him about stories. He'd always get back to us, even if he couldn't say anything. And at the end of interviews, he'd always say hello to your bride for me. Didn't have that personal relationship that a lot of other people had, but certainly did appreciate talking with them through the years. In Billings, David J., MTN News.
David, thank you. Leaders from across the region reached out to MTN News within the time after learning about what happened. Billings Mayor Bill Cole also expressing his condolences, telling us, quote, Ann and I were heartbroken to hear this news. I had the privilege of working with John for 20 years. He dedicated a lifetime to public service and will be greatly missed. Our prayers are with Christy and his family. And Montana Governor Greg Gianforte sharing his thoughts as well, saying, quote, Susan and I join Yellowstone County in mourning the tragic loss of County Commissioner John Osland, who served his community for years. Please join us in praying for his loved ones during this difficult time. And the Chase Hawks Memorial Association, a Montana-based nonprofit that helps families facing crisis with financial help, also reached out saying Osland, quote, was our friend and proud supporter of our events and our mission. He never missed a rodeo. Thank you, John, for your dedication to our cause, your friendship, and support. A very sad story this morning, and we will definitely be missing John. Crews are again putting off the search for the body of a missing hiker in East Rosebud Creek who was swept away by swift waters back on June 8th. Our Isabel Sparts has more on why it's become too dangerous right now for crews to continue the search.
A 23-year-old hiker went missing just over an hour outside of Red Lodge in East Rosebud Creek. But now, nearly 2 weeks later, search efforts are proving to be difficult and taxing for the community involved.
We go there to get away. We go there to find peace.
East Rosebud Creek is a sight to see for many. For hikers like Hunter Clark, it was a dream destination.
I saw a picture of it probably 10 years ago, and I was like, I'm going to go hike there.
But historic flooding in 2022 changed it, taking out infrastructure like a bridge from the popular hike called the Beaten Path.
We actually ended up changing our hiking plan and hiked in from the west side of the Beaten Path because it was high water.
And that high water makes the creek near Rimrock Lake dangerous. And on June 8th, a 23-year-old male was swept into the rushing water and as of late Thursday is still missing.
Whenever you know that there has been a tragedy like this in an area, it gives you pause.
Multiple search efforts were immediately launched by Red Lodge Search and Rescue and the Carbon County Sheriff's Office.
The next day we were able to send out additional ground crews and our drone crew. Additionally, they were unable to find any sign of the hiker.
But according to Amy Highfield with Search and Rescue, the danger of the area makes these searches even harder. On Wednesday, a crew was flown into the area to resume the search, but that was brief.
You can hear just the power of the water. It's formidable. It's deceptively calm up at the lake, but then when you get to this cascade, it's just pouring down.
The search was called off. A stream height gauge that was installed will monitor the water levels and the weather. While recovery efforts will be resumed as soon as possible, it's a reminder to many outdoor enthusiasts to slow down and be cautious.
If you don't have a good gut feeling, don't do it. The mountains aren't going anywhere. There's plenty of time to go back and do something and plan and gain experience and learn how to do stuff safely if it's out of your ability level.
In Red Lodge, Isabel Sparts, MTN News.
Isabel, thank you. This morning, the clock is ticking as President Donald Trump contemplates whether or not to order U.S. strikes on Iran. Officials say he is holding out for a diplomatic solution. The Israel-Iran conflict has now entered week 2. Jared Hill has more from New York.
In a last-ditch effort for diplomacy, President Donald Trump has set a deadline for a decision on whether to strike Iran.
I will make my decision whether or not to go within the next 2 weeks. That's a quote directly from the president.
Multiple sources tell CBS News that President Trump thinks disabling Iran's most secure underground nuclear site, Fordow, is crucial to stopping Iran from producing nuclear weapons.
It is a fact, and the United States government maintains this fact, that Iran has never been closer to obtaining a nuclear weapon.
Multiple sources also say the FBI has stepped up monitoring of possible Iran-backed operatives within the U.S. The FBI and the White House have not commented directly. Israel's strikes on Iranian nuclear and military sites now stretches into a second week. The death toll on both sides rising as Iran retaliates.
They're targeting civilians because they're a criminal regime.
Yesterday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said regime change in Iran isn't the goal of the operations, but added that it could happen as a result. With an eye towards de-escalation, today Iran's foreign minister is set to meet with some of his European counterparts in Geneva. In the meantime, the U.S. and other nations are warning their citizens to leave both countries as the conflict persists.
There's going to be more folks that are going to be rescued. This is an ongoing effort.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has chartered relief flights to bring Americans home from Israel. Jared Hill, CBS News.